Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today we're getting into a Pokemon figure that is so big, he does not even fit into my display setup. Um, this is the epic battle figure Lugia. And obviously he is considered one of the legendary and rare Pokemon of the second generation. And to be honest with you, just right away seeing the packaging and the size of the packaging when you first get him, when you purchase him, considered next to all the rest of the Pokemon figure that you might be used to seeing, he is considered drastically, bigger than many other figures. And I'm actually gonna compare him in this video to some other, two other very rare legendary Pokemon, the actual most rare in the first generation, just for the scope of size. So first, we're gonna reconfigure our little setup, just because he's so big, and try to get things set up in a way where we can get everything in frame and put aside the box in a moment. So first, what we're gonna do is just kind of show the box. I understand it's still too big to display the whole thing, but I want to try to stay as best as possible within frame without going too far outside of the scope of my frame. And here you have the other figures on the back of the box. No action features for this Pokemon. I'm going to put the box aside now, and we're going to get into the figure, which actually I would say that this figure currently is going for $20 on Amazon. I'm going to post the link inside the description, and he comes with a stand. So for $20, and if you're familiar with the price of a lot of these Pokemon, for such a big Pokemon, that is actually a great price for something that's this big. And he's a great collector's item, I think, because he comes with the stand, he looks nice, he has good articulation, he looks just like the anime. And being that Pokemon characters are very not very highly detailed in the anime, it's very easy to mimic that in your display of them, or in the creation of these figures and models. So here we're able to get him in full scope here. So I'm going to take him. I'm not going to take him off the stand just yet, because it actually makes it easy to hold him, because without the stand, you really can't hold Lugia up. But here you can see his articulation of his hands. They can go back like that. His legs move also. This part could move side to side, though it's getting loose, each leg. He's got articulation in his tail, but not a lot. His articulation in the tail. Oh, he does. I'm sorry. This part doesn't move, but that part does. Now, what's cool about his head feature that I thought was really cool is here you have him arcing forward and looking straight or downwards like he would have done in the second movie. Let me just kind of point that out. He was in the second Pokemon movie as the main standout legendary Pokemon, along with the three legendary birds of the first generation Pokemon, and he was considered their superior, so making him even more rare and more powerful. But coming back to what I was going to get at, so in his stance, just like in the movie, he'd usually have the stance where he's looking downwards. But what's really cool with this neck feature that he did is that if you turn the neck like this, okay, and then you turn the head like this, which is independent, now he is in a flying forward stance, which is really cool that you can do that. So here in this way, you got him flying like that, like he's flying forward. And then obviously his normal stance that he normally is in, or that could be him shooting upwards out of the water like he was inside the film. And then obviously his normal stance is back to the way I had him before, where he's like that and he's looking downwards over whatever he's looking at. It's very interesting too in the design. This is just a design comment about the character himself, not necessarily the figure, but the character itself. This kind of pear-shaped body is kind of very much a shape that a lot of Pokemon figures have, including Charizard and a lot of other figures. So it's a very common body shape. It's just very interesting. I noticed that for the first time when I was actually comparing the figures. But I wanted to get in real quick. I'm not going to make this too long. I wanted to get in real quick into his size. His tail is kind of in the way, trying to push him back as far as I can. His size. So I think if I'm not mistaken, he's considered about like a foot long. It says he's on the advertisement. It says he's a 12-inch figure. So I have for reference Mew here, who's also obviously a very rare and was the most rare Pokemon in the first generation. This is the normal size of most of the, even though he's kind of on the small side, this is roughly the size of the smaller type Pokemon, like, or level 1 Pokemon, like Pikachu, like, so I know the lighting is not all that great, like Pikachu, or Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander. This is around the same size as them. So you can see here that when he is next to them, and let me put his little stand up just so I can get him to stand near him. I'll actually just, let's see, put him on Lugia stand. And you could see there, but the size comparison, how massive he is compared to Mew. And that is, like I said, the size of your standard stage 1 or level 1 Pokemon. Most of them are around the same size. So you can see how big that is. Now, when it comes to, I also have Mewtwo here, just for size reference. Mewtwo is roughly about the size of, say, the stage 3 characters, Blastoise, Charizard, not including Venusaur because he's huge, but Charizard, Blastoise, he's around that size. So a stage 3 size Pokemon. And you could see here, I'll try to lean him up because he doesn't have good standability, but okay. And you could see here that in size comparison, let me just try to get a little bit of where his feet are so you can see that he is still bigger than Mewtwo. Maybe not scale proportion because Mewtwo is like somewhere about, like, I think 5'7" or something of that sort. And then Lugia is, this might be his wingspan, but it's like, I think he's about like 17 feet and something like that, or 17 or maybe 20 something, I don't know. But he's still huge in toy reference compared to even Mewtwo, who is a big figure or the same size as the stage 3 characters like Charizard. So it just definitely gives you that reference that he is definitely this massive Pokemon, giving him that sense that he has from his character, like, say, in the movies and whatever the case is. Often Pokemon tend to, like, make characters bigger or smaller depending how they want them to look or be in the anime. But generally speaking, they all have actual size in terms of feet, and he definitely displays that here with his size. So I think the figure is great for collectors, especially with the stand. If you just want to get him just to, he's one of your favorite Pokemon, you want to have all legendary Pokemon or whatever the case is, you just want to stand him up. I think that it's a great, I think it's definitely a great figure to purchase for that, just collecting and maybe having your desk for display. If you want to get him for the purpose of playing with him or for your kids, whatever the case is, even better. He has great articulation. He's a great figure. I can't see anyone not liking him. The detail is very nice considering the fact that Pokemon, like I mentioned before, don't have a lot of detail in them. So having that with his little spines or whatever you want to call them coming on his back and everything like that, he looks really nice. The details in his wings, which are like giant hands, you could see them very defined to be that big thumb and the 5 fingers. So yes, I really like the figure. I think he's definitely worth getting, anybody who's into that. And I'm not going to drag this out any longer, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.